Breaking. Pelosi's response to national emergency may give GOP second thoughts. President Trump announced today that he will declare a national emergency which will allow him to spend $8 million for a southern border wall just after he signs a bill to avoid a government shutdown. Trump will hold an event in the Rose Garden about the border at 10 a.m. on Friday. He is expected to sign both the funding bill and the paperwork for his executive actions. The move by the president drew both statements of relief from lawmakers and a threat from Speaker Nancy Pelosi over the emergency declaration. Pelosi declared that it was an end run around the will of the people. She was speaking to reporters minutes after news of Trump's position broke. She also warned that Trump's actions could come back to bite Republicans. We will review our options. We'll be prepared to respond appropriately to it, Pelosi said. The House Speaker also threatened that a future Democratic president could use the same tactic if Trump moves forward. I know the Republicans have some unease about it, no matter what they say. Because if the president can declare an emergency on something that he has created as an emergency, an illusion that he wants to convey, just think of what a president with different values can present to the American people, she said. You want to talk about a national emergency? Let's talk about today, the one-year anniversary of another manifestation of the epidemic of gun violence in America, Pelosi said, referencing the one-year anniversary of the Parkland, Florida school shooting. That's a national emergency. Why don't you declare that emergency, Mr. President? I wish you would. But a Democratic president can do that. A Democratic president can declare emergencies as well, she threatened. The Senate adopted the legislative package to end the government shutdown by a vote of 83-16. The House followed suit, approving the deal in a 300-128 vote. Pelosi described the package as the product of compromise, but bristled at Trump's stated move to get around strict funding limits it included, namely $1.4 billion for border fencing. So, the precedent that the president is setting here is something that should be met with great unease and dismay by the Republicans. And of course we will respond accordingly when we review our options, Pelosi said. Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer of New York challenged Trump's move in even more critical language. Declaring a national emergency would be a lawless act, a gross abuse of the power of the presidency and a desperate attempt to distract from the fact that President Trump broke his core promise to have Mexico pay for the wall, Schumer told colleagues moments after the deal passed the Senate. It would be another demonstration of President Trump's naked contempt for the rule of law and congressional authority. Congress just debated this very issue. There was not support for the president's position on this issue, Schumer said, pointing to the legislative history that a court would likely consider. For the president to declare an emergency now would be an unprecedented subversion of Congress's constitutional prerogative, he said.